Welcome to the CrossFit Max podcast.
What is going on, beautiful people? Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Today, we are going to be discussing all things nutrition, and we're going to dive into the Canadian food guide that has been published. And maybe this might be a good time for some of you guys because summer is rolling around the corner, and typically in that spring area, we want to make some nutrition changes. So we're going to be diving into that as well. We hope that you enjoy it. So let's get into it. Well, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We're starting.
Should we do a sound check?
No.
Okay.
We're going right into it.
All right.
Say hello to the listeners.
You deal with the consequences if the sound is bad.
What's up, team?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. It is Monday, March 31st, 9:27 p.m. at time of recording, and just got back from coaching. Wonderful Monday classes. And the wonderful wifey had a delicious
and
meal.
nutritious.
Yeah, very nutritious meal.
Ready for you. Waiting.
Ready.
Hot and ready.
Hot and ready. Wasn't hot, but it was ready.
Okay. That's because I ate at 5 o'clock with our child.
And Susie's checking this out right now. She's fact checking this, but she said, "Oh, you sent me this meal or this recipe, and I made it." And I have no recollection of sending this to you at all.
I lied. You did not.
Okay, so you just fact checked it. It was freaking delicious, but I don't ever remember seeing this.
Okay, but even if you didn't send it to me, I like this bowl. It's like a bowl. It's so simple.
Tell them what's in it. Simple but delicious.
Ground beef, sweet potatoes, avocado, and cottage cheese with spicy honey.
Freaking delicious.
Anyways.
Protein packed.
Literally.
Nutrient rich.
I feel like my Instagram algorithm knows that I'm lazy in the kitchen, but like to eat well. So it just sends me all kinds of super easy recipes. And this was a winner too because it was Thomas friendly, minus the spicy honey. But yeah, I feel like literally every fifth post is this freaking ground beef, sweet potato, cottage cheese, avocado bowl.
So how did you just saw this on Instagram?
Like, I've seen it 4 billion times. I scroll Instagram more than I'm proud of.
Well, so I never sent this to you. I was very shocking because you're like, "Oh, you sent me this meal," and I thought these are all
I've been seeing it, and I thought you sent it to me, but now I'm like, who sent it to me?
These are all individual ingredients that I would absolutely love, but I've never
really
really
thought to put them together.
Put them all together.
I'm wondering who sent it to me.
Turns out it was freaking delicious. So if you guys want a recipe, well, how did you cook the ground beef? Did you put like
I put taco seasoning in it.
A little taco seasoning. So just regular taco, like
just like the
Old El Paso
taco seasoning
with ground beef. And then you baked
lean ground beef.
beef.
I had baked sweet potatoes in the oven for 45 minutes.
Nice.
Like cubed them up so they're cute.
So cubed potatoes. I should have taken a photo. Damn. Cubed sweet potatoes.
I took a photo of mine, but it was
oven
ugly.
For 45 minutes.
Yeah.
With ground beef, and then
some avocado and a dollop of cottage cheese and some hot honey.
Yeah, it was
Sriracha
legit.
honey. I was actually very impressed that Walmart had spicy honey.
It was delicious. So yeah, we're gonna be discussing all nutrition stuff. We had the intention of making a nutrition podcast for Nutrition Month,
which it still currently is.
Which we thought was
for the next 5 minutes. Turns out it was March.
I think it was March. But yeah, we're going to discuss a little bit more on the nutrition side of things today and try not to just repeat ourselves and try to come up with some new stuff. But banter topic, I think this would be fun. We've already discussed your meal.
That was the banter topic.
Oh, no, but quick banter topic.
Are we doing 2 banter topics?
Double banter topic.
Oh my God.
New sound effects. Okay, this is what I want to banter topic.
Okay, tell me.
Which I think it's pretty cool.
Yes.
Based on how you've not just cooked for your lovely husband tonight, but overall how you
the whole family. I cooked for the whole family.
Yeah, how you've cooked for Thomas, and our son is 9 months old, 9.5 months old. I'm gonna be one of those.
We're gonna be one of those.
So
just say it in weeks, to make it easier for everyone.
And he has 4 bottles a day. 3 or 4 bottles a day, and he eats 3 meals a day. Yeah, and I think you've done a phenomenal job at making sure Tommy has been eating really healthy and balanced meals. Because if you've been listening to this podcast and you've heard previous nutrition topics, we're not just going to talk about balance today, but you know that we are huge fans of eating balanced macronutrients, protein, fats, and carbs.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wanted to just shout you out for doing such a good job for feeding our 9-month-old baby real healthy, balanced meals.
Yeah, thank you so much.
What has been your breakdown for these meals so the listeners know? Because a lot of people, I feel like, think, oh, kids, we can just give them the chicken the chicken nuggets, the sugary stuff.
Talk to me again when I have a picky toddler, because I know that things will change. But pretty much when I'm making him a meal, I just make sure there's some really good fat, because babies' diets need to be high in fat, healthy fat. And I make sure there's some protein, and then usually something that I know he loves, which will probably be some form of berry or something like that.
Yeah, some fruit. Yeah, I think it's been pretty cool. You've always made sure that he's had like a protein source, and people are always wondering like, oh, like what are you making for him? Yeah. And you're just
he ate eggs, chicken, and beef.
Yeah, you're just taking what we ate and just giving him at smaller, a lot smaller portions. Yeah. He has eggs, he has cottage cheese, he has Greek yogurt. Yeah. For the protein stuff, sometimes you give him some meat now, chicken,
ground beef. Yeah.
For fats, like you said, fats are really important. And I guess his go-to has been avocados. Yeah. Freaking loves avocados.
He also likes cheese.
Loves cheese as well. Yeah, we have those Laughing Cow cheese that we give him.
He loves those.
He loves those. What other sorts of fat are we giving him? There's also fat in
cottage cheese?
Yeah, well,
not so much.
Yeah, not too much, but in we're getting like a full fat Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
So they're just getting fat
extra
from there.
Creamy.
He's also getting fat from the yolk, from the eggs that
he
we're giving him.
likes nut butter too.
Yeah, we've been giving him some nut butter as well. So playing around with different nuts.
These nuts.
Almond, nut, peanut. What other ones have we given him? Hazelnut as well. So yeah, just trying to play around with different nuts in case for like allergies and stuff like that. So yeah, and it's been cool because I feel like as we get older, we forget that that's how our plates should continue to look.
Yeah, I feel like, it's so often that like you see on social media, and it's coming to light how much time I spend on social media on this episode. But anyways, you see moms like really curating, like making sure their kids are being healthy and all of these things, but then completely like neglecting themselves, or eating just like their kids like toast scraps, and saying they don't have time to go to the gym, but like making sure that their kids are in sports and making sure that their kids have balanced meals. And it's like
should be the same for adults too.
Yeah,
you should be moving your body, and you should be playing sports.
What is the expression they say about airplanes? Put your own mask on before you help someone else. Yeah. Well, I feel like that applies in nutrition too. Like if you're not taking care of yourself first, you're gonna not be around to take care of the people who need you.
Yeah, it's gonna be harder to take care of the people around you as well. But yeah, that's been really cool for you, for me to see you you obviously do most of the cooking now. Yeah. And it's been cool to see you really tackle that and feed him really well. And, it kind of, I don't know if you've seen this viral video.
Probably. I'm on Instagram every day.
It's been around for like many years, I would say. Probably at least 5 years, where you see the video is from the eyes of a man who is getting pulled into a hospital.
Man. Just
He's
kidding.
getting pulled into a hospital.
Oh, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And the doctors are over him and being like, oh my God, he just had a heart attack. Like, how could he get this big? And then it's just flashbacks of that man getting younger and younger and younger and younger.
And like so many.
And like all the things that have happened. And it pretty much traces, like he's an adult in the beginning of the video, but as the video progresses, it brings him all the way to being a toddler.
Child, yeah.
And you see his like progression of like, as an adult, his wife is like, come on, you need to make better decisions, but then like is feeding him fast food and ultra processed foods, and it's like cooking that for the family. And then it goes back to like when he's like living on his own in college, and
Party days.
He's partying and eating out with his friends. And then it goes back to younger when he's living with his mother, and his mom is feeding him, you know, McDonald's and fast food and stuff. And then it goes all the way down to a kid where you see him sitting literally in the high chair here, and he doesn't want to eat his healthy foods, like doesn't want to eat the broccoli. So the mom just puts in like a McDonald's French fry in his mouth, you know, and it's kind of this whole journey of, well, how did this person get to that state? And it started with how he was raised and the things that he ate when he was younger.
Yeah.
And I guess we talked about that in my podcast a few weeks ago.
Yeah, true that.
And that is like a reality for a lot of kids, unfortunately, is that they're fed the quick, fast things that, they're gonna love a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. There's no friction from the kid in the moment because they're pleased to be having chicken nuggies.
He doesn't want to eat his eggs or eat his broccoli, so let's just give him like more sugar, more French fries and stuff like that. But it's like, no, hold on, like keep giving him that stuff. And it was kind of cool because even our doctor, when we first started, was saying, hey, don't give him fruits right away. Yeah,
she recommended when we started giving him solids to start with iron-rich foods, and she was like, you can let him like suck on like a piece of steak, and you can let him eat things like that instead of starting with fruits, because if you start with fruits, then obviously they're very palatable, especially for kids.
Very sweet. We love sugar.
Yeah, I mean, even now, like I've seen online suggestions of doing this, and it seems to be working with Tommy, because now he has like tastes. Like you could tell there are things that he likes more than other things, and that's definitely berries of any form. And so I try to make sure I offer him like a variety of foods on his plate, but then I do berries are not bad for you. It's just that he always goes for them first because really good, it's his favorite. Yeah. But it
is the sweet thing.
Yeah, that you could just tell that kids are drawn to the sweetness, because I always try and put something on his plate, especially if I put something new that he's never tried before on his plate. I'll make sure that there's something on there that he knows really well and that he loves, like a strawberry, let's say. And I always notice that he'll go for the strawberry first, but then he'll once he's eaten the strawberries and they're gone, then he'll kind of start to explore the plate, and it almost feels like a bit of like a safe space. So I feel like that's a good trick if you're a parent. Yeah. Like you can present your kid with, you don't have to be like, you must eat only this broccoli and whatever. You can put things on their plate that they like with other things that you hope they're going to eat. And maybe they're not going to eat them every time. But if you're constantly presenting them with a balanced meal, eventually, even if they don't eat the whole thing, they're going to start to be a little bit just more comfortable. I feel like it's a comfort level thing. So, you know.
But it is also interesting when they do put the sweet thing in their... I know we're talking about our son here, but I'm sure like many parents could resonate with this. It's that when you see your kid eat the strawberry...
they sugar rushes. They shake their little heads.
And it's like, all right, they're getting their sugar in right now. Yeah.
Today, this is actually so funny. Okay, I'm not going to turn this into a talking about Tommy episode because Brandon hates that. But today I was unloading the groceries and Tommy was sitting in his high chair and I was just trying to distract him, letting him play with his spatula. He loves that. And he saw me take the strawberries out of the bag to put them away in the fridge. And he literally, for the first time ever, spotted them and was just lit up. And I was like, okay, well, I can't deny the boy a strawberry. Anyway, so I cut him up a strawberry and he was the happiest boy ever.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was so funny. He was like, I see precious.
Yeah. But yeah, so it kind of leads into today's episode, where we're going to be talking more on the nutrition side of things. And I think something that where we should start, obviously we're talking about our 9-month-old baby here, but it does relate pretty well to teenagers and then adults and then even further into life here. And yeah, so we'll talk about And also the time of year right now, like recording this, it's the end of March. So at the beginning, we'll be
It's
releasing
the last
this.
day of nutrition month. So we're getting it in, guys.
Yeah,
We
so
didn't forget.
It's the beginning of April that we're releasing this. And typically, for a lot of people,
Yeah.
maybe including myself, we start to think, all right, summer
Shred.
is around the corner, right? And we typically want to look a little bit leaner in the summertime, whether
We
that's
wear less
bathing
clothes
suits. Yeah,
in
we
the
wear
summer.
less clothes. So yeah, typically this like holidays are now behind us. The December and January
We're like in
fiasco
the
was
routine
behind.
of life right now.
Now we're definitely into a routine. Winter is behind us. The sun is starting to shine a little bit more. And this is typically the time that people start to zone in a little bit more on their nutrition just because of the time of year, at least in the Montreal area.
Yeah, I'm ready for a hot mom summer.
Yeah. So I'll start with something that I thought was pretty cool because we kind of just briefly mentioned our doctor before. I thought that even just the doctor telling us how we should be feeding our son was really, really cool. But on that note of doctors and healthcare professionals, we had client Evie a few weeks ago send us the Canadian Food Guide. Now we've mentioned in the past
How disappointed we've been.
disappointed we've been, and for sure let's just say not all doctors have necessarily provided the best sort of advice. I would say obviously that's a generalization, but I would say older doctors haven't been learning as much in this field because that they have been doing their practice and they've been busy in their practice, especially in Canada, where our doctors are very
Overworked,
I guess you could say.
underappreciated,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
overworked.
And they don't have time to go and like do more studies and stuff like that. For sure, all the younger doctors and then the next
Coming
generation
out of school now
coming out
and
of
stuff,
yeah,
yeah.
for sure, and maybe the last decade or two,
Right.
But definitely older doctors are a little bit further behind in this stuff. So Evie sent us the Canadian Food Guide, and I was pleasantly surprised in their
been
new
updated.
updates. Yeah,
Tell us about the updates.
so the first thing, which I freaking loved, is they said, eat a variety of healthy foods each day. And then it's a photo of a plate. So it's no longer this ugly looking cartoon pyramid where grains and carbs are at the bottom of the list. Right now, we are looking at a plate, and I think that is super cool. Just the fact
More
that
visual.
we can understand how to build a plate, because that's the most important thing when we're looking
That's
at
what
like
we're doing 3 times a day.
yeah, exactly. We're building plates here. And a lot of times people want to have like recipes and stuff through TikTok videos that random people are sending you, not me.
Yeah,
but,
it's my other husband. Sorry. I always get you guys mixed up.
But yeah, so like everyone wants to have like these recipes, but at the end of the day, we need to know what goes on our plate and why it's going on our plate here. So there's this plate in front of me, and half the dish is filled with colors and plants. And essentially it says, have plenty of vegetables and fruits. And I'm seeing things like broccoli and carrots and blueberries and strawberries and apples and spinach and peas. And I'm seeing all cabbage, like purple cabbage. Like I'm seeing so much color on half of this plate.
Vibrant.
And I couldn't agree more with when we're building a plate, we want to see lots of colors, which means lots of nutrients.
Yeah.
Lots of minerals, lots of vitamins. These foods
Variety.
are very, very nutrient dense, meaning there's so much good nutrients, also very good fiber to help you with digestion, and not a crazy amount of calories, right? So half your plate is filled with things that are going to boost your health, boost your brain, boost your heart, boost your metabolism, boost your gut health.
Right.
And it's just going to provide a ton of nutrients, and it's not even that calorically dense. There's not that many calories in it.
And
So I
it's
thought
going
that
to
was great.
fill you up.
Very filling. Very filling.
Yeah.
And then you have the other half of the plate is split into 2 quarters. And the first one is eating protein foods, which I think is really cool. Now, in the photo, it's not as... oh, you know what? Actually, no. After zooming in, sorry. I was going to say something else, but when zooming in here, you got steak, you got eggs, you got, I think, a piece of salmon or some fish, you got some tofu, you got some, I think these are lentils. So that's why originally I was going to say, I think there's nuts in here, but nuts are not a big quality of protein, but they have some. But yeah, so a lot of different meats in there. You got tofu, you got Greek yogurt as well. So protein is super important. And when you are looking at your plate, I absolutely love the fact that, hey, a quarter of my plate is protein
dedicated to
packed.
protein. Yep.
Yeah. Which is really good for building muscle, which is really good for your cells, which is really good for your immune system, really good for your digestion.
I won't say it's good for your brain because,
very good for your brain. Every part of your body is made up of protein, including your brain, including your skin, including your bones and your muscle tissue.
It's a running joke in our house that foods are good for the brain.
Everything is good for the brain.
Because I'm always trying to tell Tommy when he's eating his food what it's good for. And pretty much 100% of the time, it's good for your brain. So I'm like, berries are good for your brain.
So we have this wonderful plate in front of us. Half of it is packed with colors and nutrients. Yep. We have a quarter of it that is packed with protein. And then the other quarter shows choose whole grain foods. So this is things that are these are things that are gonna help us with energy purposes. So there's like a little piece of like whole grain bread, whole grain pasta, rice, and quinoa, and I don't know what this other thing is. I'm not even sure what that is. But yeah, so things that are going to provide us with a lot more carbohydrates, energy, to get us moving, right? Carbohydrates are the body's primary source of energy. We love using carbs. And yeah, so if I were to look at this, I would give this a 10 out of 10. And if most Canadians ate like that,
right,
then most Canadians would be healthy and we wouldn't have
such chronic illness.
Exactly.
The problem is that this has been only like this for a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. So we need to educate the masses still. Yeah. I feel like we are screaming it from the rooftops, but there's just so many people who still have just like such limited knowledge on how to eat well or where to start with like a potential weight loss journey.
Yeah. I also want to add that on the side of this plate is a glass of water and it says, make water your drink of choice. And I think that's freaking awesome.
So freaking good.
Because so many people are still drinking juice or sodas,
oh my
beer,
God.
alcohol.
If you're still drinking soda, like, come on, guys. There are so many great alternatives now. Like the marketing of fizzy water is just incredible.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having
soda.
There's nothing wrong with having a soda like on a Saturday night with your friends, or you're out at a restaurant and you just want like a Coke or anything. But yeah, like we're looking at this from like an average day
like
to
a day-to-day, like a Monday night before you have work and school the next day.
Like there is no reason why you should be drinking anything besides water at your meals or throughout the day. There's so many good alternatives, like Susie said, even supplements. We're drinking freaking Ghost greens in our water in the morning, and it's apple flavored and it tastes so
just like apple
freaking
juice.
Good.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many different things out there that could make, if you're not a water drinker, there's so many things that'll make your water taste way better if you want.
100%.
But I love the fact that the Canada Food Guide put drink water or make water your drink of choice. That is really, really cool.
Yeah, and it's like
orange juice is not healthy in the morning. It's not a great source. No,
you're gonna get a sugar crash.
Lemonade is not good, and no Diet Coke on a Wednesday night is not a great option.
I really wanted to say something, and I can't remember what my point was, but I know what it was about. So now I'm like, do I just start saying it and maybe it'll come to me?
Say it.
But you've been talking recently about the gym and with me at home about the TNT stuff. Mm-hmm. And so the TNT stands for takes no talent.
Yeah.
I don't remember why
Is
I
it-
was going to bring this back to nutrition, but I'm like,
Just
this
like
is
water?
interesting.
Like drinking water takes no talent?
Yeah, I think that's where I was going with it, something along those lines. But
Yeah, so-
anyways, you've been drilling it into the community. So tell us a little bit about what that means, because you're
So
the
I
one
saw
who's
this
obsessed.
wonderful reel where this girl was using this acronym TNT.
Yeah.
And it stood for takes no talent. And I just freaking love that because oftentimes people think in CrossFit, oh, I got to be fit to start CrossFit, or I got to be strong to start CrossFit, or I got to be able to do these movements.
Right.
And that doesn't just apply for CrossFit, that applies for living a
Life.
healthy lifestyle,
Yeah.
like period. And a lot of people, they set these, I'll just call it what it is. They set these excuses for why they can't live a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
But there are things that take no talent. You don't have to back squat 300 pounds to drink a glass of water at supper.
100%. Yes. I love when you are able to take my point and make it make sense. Keep going.
So yeah, there's many things that take no talent, and Susie's bringing this up because on our whiteboard at the gym,
Yes.
I just put TNT, and I just asked a whole bunch of people to like think about it in their cardio session last week, and some people were adding it, and people were putting like effort, signing up for the gym,
Like being on
consistency,
time.
punctuality. I wrote just as a joke there, swag, but it doesn't take any talent to put on some clothes that you feel good in and you want to move in, right?
100%.
So like that doesn't take any talent, but that'll get you a little bit motivated to go to the gym for the next day, right?
1,000,000%.
So there's a long list of
and
things,
I think,
and Max, one of our new clients, Max, was like good vibes, just like smiling. Takes no talent.
it does not take
But
talent
it
to be
encourages
like kind
other people to go a
and-
little harder and a little bit faster and add a little bit more weight on the bar, and yeah, like those things that take no talent, go a long way.
Yeah, and I feel like now, because I feel like it's such a theme that Brown and I are taking that into like just business decisions and things that we're working on behind the scenes, we're talking about it just like at home. But I think that you can apply this to nutrition as well. Like there are a lot of things that, okay, counting macros, all of these things, you might not understand that, but like it takes no talent to like drink your water, eat some protein, like
Yeah.
abstain from overindulging on chocolate or something. You know what I mean? Like these things, they don't take any deep understanding or deep knowledge. It's just like everybody can do that starting tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't take any talent to not eat toast tomorrow morning and cook up some eggs.
Have some scrambled eggs.
Yeah. Yeah. So this was part 1 or item 1 of 3 on the Canada Food Guide. So I love that they started with a visual plate. Here's the plate. This is what it should look like.
Is
roughly.
the pyramid dead?
Yeah, I don't see any pyramid at all.
I love it.
So that was
Bye, pyramid.
item 1 of 3. And now if you scroll over to item 2 out of 3, I am loving this even more. So it says healthy eating is more than the foods you eat. And then there's this little graph, and it shows 4 things to do. It shows 7 different labels here, excuse me. And the first one says, be mindful of your eating habits.
Ooh.
Which I freaking love that, right? So putting your fork down in between bites, chewing your food, being kind of aware about
like being present, not looking at
Yeah.
your screens while you're eating.
Exactly. Second thing was cook more often, right? So
Oh my
rather
God,
than going out
literally.
to eat more and not having any control of the ingredients that are going into your system, at home you have full control, right? You can buy the foods that are more whole foods, right? Susie made this dish and she took the ground beef, put it in a pan, cooked it like that, and then she added the
Taco seasoning.
She cooked the sweet potatoes, and she got to choose which type of, to use oil.
Yeah.
She got to choose which oil and what seasoning she was putting on.
Extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper,
Salt and pepper
and lemon juice.
and lemon juice. key ingredient there, lemon
That's
juice.
Brandon's favorite. If I don't put lemon juice, he knows.
I know. Yeah. And then, you choose the avocado, you choose the quantity of the avocado, you choose the quantity of the cottage cheese, right? So you're taking these whole food options and you're putting it together. First, if you go to a restaurant, you don't know how they cook the chicken, you don't know which oils they use, you don't know how many
Probably
calories
not
are in
extra
it.
virgin olive oil.
Right.
That's
Probably
for
not.
sure.
So cooking more at home, it also builds on the talent of cooking, right? Because cooking itself has a talent, right? So like Susie.
Well, the meal that I made, let me tell you, takes no talent. Okay, because
But it does take talent because you need to like know how to cook those things.
Right,
you need
you're
to know
right.
how to cook the sweet potatoes. You need like there is talent involved in that, and you only learn those talents by cooking
It
more at home.
takes no talent to try.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So cooking more often was the second thing.
Yeah.
The third thing was enjoy your food, and I think this is
So
extremely
important.
underrated.
So underrated.
Because so many
You're
people
so right.
think that eating healthy is like blah, and you don't enjoy your food.
Or a punishment.
It's like a bad
I'm
thing.
punishing my body with
Yeah.
this salad.
I eat healthy almost every single day. There are days that I don't eat healthy, but I would say 90% of the time I
90%.
eat healthy.
Yeah.
And I love what I put in my mouth. I love my breakfast. I love the lunch. I love this really healthy supper that Susie cooked. So enjoying your food is super important.
Very.
And then it said eat meals with others, which is cool because
That's cute.
you're having that social connection. Eventually Tommy's going to be a little bit older and he's not going to be just a blob sitting in a high chair
I
here.
eat with him every night.
Yeah, no, I know, but like having like those family dinners where you're talking
yeah.
about like, I'm sure like a lot of our clients right now have kids at home who are like either teenagers or
We always had to sit around the table.
Yeah.
No screens allowed during dinner.
just enjoying what you guys have cooked together as a
Talk
family.
about your day.
Talk about your day.
It just can be like such a nice bonding moment.
Yeah, and build like a good relationship with food.
Yeah.
The other two things, or the three things, excuse me. I'm not really sure what this is. Oh, okay, gotcha. Never mind. So the first thing was use food labels. So kind of just reading the labels and understanding what you're putting into your body.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And at the end of the day, we want to be buying foods that don't have labels on them. You know what I mean? Like a pepper
Right.
doesn't have a label
like
when
the
you grab
bananas
it.
are not coming with like nutrition
Exactly.
facts.
So most of your food you want to be purchasing without labels, but
Right.
that doesn't mean that you cannot grab foods that are in cans or packaged. Eggs also have label and cottage cheese has labels. So
Right, true.
Greek yogurt, like what's the difference between a high-fat Greek yogurt and a low-fat Greek yogurt? Okay, well, like let me turn it around and let me look at the label. So
Yeah.
using your food labels and understanding what's going into your system. The other thing is limit highly processed foods. I'm shocked that they put that in there, and I freaking love that they put that in there.
I feel like you wrote this.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. This is
is
a
so
legit
good.
thing, guys. By the way, food-guide.canada.ca. That's the website. You guys can search this up for yourself, all right? I'm not making this up. So limit highly processed foods. Highly processed foods taste delicious.
Yes.
We know it.
Correct.
They're very palatable foods, usually extremely high in calories,
And
extremely low in nutrients, and they're typically foods that taste really good.
Yeah.
Right. And the calories add up very, very quickly. And unfortunately, those calories don't make us full. They make us more hungry and could potentially increase inflammation levels, could make you feel more bloated, could make bowel movements a little bit more uncomfortable, more
Sluggish.
gassy. Your energy levels are all over the place.
Right.
So limiting your highly processed foods was one of the things. And then in the bottom, marketing can influence your food choices, which I thought that was pretty interesting.
They're telling us to watch out.
Yeah, watch out. Yeah, because a lot of people will be
That
like,
product placement.
yeah, eat this like vegan food. It's really healthy for you. And then you look at the back and you're like, well, this thing is pretty ultra processed right now.
Yeah, like
but
Beyond Meat is
it does
like
say vegan on it, and
beyond
it
health.
does say that it's what's the word I'm looking
Low
for?
fat.
No, not vegan, but what's the other thing? Like eco, or not eco, but
Sustainable. Conscious.
no, the food label.
I I don't know. I'm
The
just
label. What is the word when you see it? It's all packaged green and everything.
I don't
Come
know.
on, you know this.
I know, but give me more.
Organic. That's the freaking word.
Organic. Oh
organic
my gosh.
this, organic that, and you're just looking at it and you're like, okay, well, this is organic. Okay, well, this is heavily. I mean, look, this whole thing has only sugar in it. Yeah, but it's organic. Yeah, it's organic sugar. It's got 50. It's crackers. It's got 50 grams of carbs for like 6 little crackers here. And there's no nutritional value coming besides the fact that this thing just said it's organic. And you're like, okay, well, so yeah, I thought that was interesting. And then, so there was that item, those 7 things on that second item list.
Okay, love it.
And then the third item list was literally just cultures. So just trying different cultures, like having Italian, exploring in the French cuisine, the Spanish cuisine, the Dutch cuisine, and just exploring different types of cultures out there. So,
what's your favorite cuisine?
Oh, your cuisine, the Susie cuisine,
the basic bitch cuisine.
Yeah, I don't know. Like if I would not choose like what we're eating, I don't know. That's really hard.
What? You don't know your favorite cuisine?
I know. Why? Like if
Mine is definitely Italian.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like eating out.
Like I'm saying for eating out because I'm not gonna. Well, I guess I could cook Italian food, but
Yeah, I guess maybe Italian. My stepmother will kill me if I don't say that. But yeah, I guess Italian. I love Italian, especially going out. Mm-hmm. Pastas and pizzas and stuff for sure. I mean,
I'm impartial to sushi. What cuisine is that? Japanese.
I was going to say Japanese, but I'm not sure.
Oh my God, we're so bad. I'm so embarrassed for us. I'm sure it's Japanese.
Yeah. Anyways, all that to be said, Canadian Food Guide, check. If they could start teaching this more at schools, and
I'm sure they are now.
I would love to know if any of my parents out there, their kids are learning this stuff at school. I want to know, are they teaching this stuff at school these days? Any of my teachers out there, any of my parents who have kids in school right now, let me know. I'd be curious because I'm not sure.
I'm excited to find out once Thomas enters the education system.
Now, that was kind of a long part here, but something I wanted to get people to think about here is reframing their mindset. And now we just heard the whole Canadian Food Guide. We talked about it from our lens as well and how it's very similar. And if you're someone who is trying to make like bigger life changes in nutrition and in the kitchen and what goes into your mouth, then something that I feel I took away maybe a little bit further into life is instead of looking at food such as I shouldn't eat this and this is bad for me, it's trying to fuel your body to thrive. If you are I guess we'll talk more towards maybe our athletes at CrossFit Max here. You're probably crushing it in the gym and you're probably pushing hard. You're probably upping your frequency.
Yeah.
And you're trying to train 3, 4, 5, sometimes for my super athletes, 6 days per week. But you have to remember that you need to fuel your body for this.
Right.
And even for those people who are training on the lower end, so let's say 3 times per week, that's a great start and you're crushing it. And at this point, you're probably starting to looking at making different nutrition changes, because maybe you're starting to be like, wow, I'm working really hard,
gym, yeah.
And it's kind of what came first, the chicken or the egg situation. Like, which one should you be focusing on first? Should it be nutrition or should you be focusing on fitness? But in this realm, I guess, whatever you want to call it.
Field.
This field, yeah.
Realm, what are we, like freaking fairies or something?
Whatever.
Oh
it's
my
late.
God. It's
10
p.m.
People typically start with the fitness,
yes,
and then go into nutrition.
100%.
Now, without a doubt, nutrition is going to have a greater impact. However, most people start with the fitness first and then start making nutrition changes.
Yeah, because especially like at our gym, you're going to have your hand held with the fitness. The nutrition can feel overwhelming when you're left to your own devices at the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. So,
but not now, because you know the Canadian food guide.
So instead of looking at food like, ooh, I shouldn't eat this, it's about trying to find the foods that make you thrive and make you feel really good. And always be in the pursuit of improving your dish. I feel like even today, I'll have chats with members of the gym who are crushing it, who are doing 5 sessions. They're getting lean, they're getting muscular, they're getting strong, like their performance is going up there. But then I'll have these conversations with them and they'll be like, man, like I feel like I'm having a hard time recovering, and I feel like I'm having like lower energies and stuff.
Right.
And then I'll kind of just start to peel back the layers and try to figure out what's going into their system and stuff. And they're not looking at they're kind of like, yeah, well, I eat healthy. Well, it's like, well, I don't doubt that you're not eating healthy, but are you in the pursuit of constantly trying to improve your nutrition? Because if you're just in this mindset where you're like, yeah, I'm crushing it in the gym and I'm eating relatively healthy based on what I think is healthy, well, it's like, well, I encourage you guys to question yourself.
Right. Like in this situation, healthy, like, yeah, bananas are healthy, but like that's not like a balanced breakfast.
Yeah, like I said, you eat a whole grain piece of toast in the morning. Yeah, that's not bad, but is that the only thing you're eating in the morning? Right. And then, like the most common thing is people just eating toast in the morning still. And I'm like baffled by this, that toast is still the go-to breakfast choice for adults. And what? It's
just funny the way you say things. For adults.
Yeah, like it's crazy to me. Like I stopped doing that when I was 17 years old because I was feeling pretty crappy energy levels in the middle of the day. So trying to figure
literally everyone who eats toast, which is like probably still like more than half of our listeners, are like, I feel personally victimized by Brandon McDowell.
Yeah. And you know what?
They're also having energy crashes at midday and they're like, fuck, it's not my toast. I swear it's not my toast.
It's not my toast. Yeah. And like eating toast is not a bad thing. It's just, it has to go with other things. It has to go with the plate that has lots of color and lots of nutrients and also has a quarter size protein. Most people today still will look at their plate and they will have mostly carbohydrates on them.
Correct.
They'll have a bowl of pasta, or they'll have 2 pieces of toast in the morning sprinkled with honey or sprinkled with jam.
We get it. Like toast cereal. People are feeling it.
Yeah. And or cereal, right?
Yes. That is not a breakfast food.
Or even I'm going to go back to the toast, but not even toast, but bread, like sandwiches still, right? Like having some sort of sandwich for lunch, or I don't know, just, you know what I'm talking about here. I'm trying to think of
everybody knows
more common examples here, but yeah.
Well, even like a lot of people think they're being super healthy when they eat like oatmeal for breakfast.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great one. Yeah. Oatmeal is so
good for you.
And we've been on an oatmeal kick recently. We've been eating oatmeal almost every single day.
I only eat it on the days that you make it for me.
Which is most days, but unfortunately not all days. But yeah, so we're on an oatmeal kick right now. It's like, okay, so what did you put in your oatmeal? Which, by the way, really good source of carbohydrates,
fantastic.
Really great fiber in it, really good nutrients. And, well, what are you having with your oatmeal? And it's like, well, I'm putting fruit in there. It's like, okay, another great nutrient source.
I don't want to put anyone on blast.
Lots of carbohydrates right now. And it's like, okay, like what else are you putting in there?
But a lot of people put sugar in there.
I'm putting I put on some honey or some maple syrup. It's like, okay, so now we've got carbs on top of carbs on top of carbs. Okay, tell me what else is going in that. And they're like, well, then I'll put like
that's it. Fruits maybe.
Maybe some almond butter or something. And I'm like, okay, well, at least I got some fat in there. Or chia seeds. Yeah, a lot of people put like seeds in there. But it's like, okay, that's great, but where is the protein? Where is all the
you
colors?
gotta get some protein in there.
You gotta get protein in there, right? So anyways, all that to be said, you gotta look down at your food and you gotta look, okay, well, what is gonna make me feel really good? What is gonna help me recover from my workouts? What is gonna give me energy throughout the day?
Right.
Oh, like I get sick so often in my every year. Like, it feels like every 2 months I'm getting some sort of illness and virus or something. It's like, okay, well, maybe your immune system is not working as strong as it should be. Like, again, are you eating adequate amount of protein? Are you getting a lot of color in your plate? Are you getting a lot of nutrients, right?
Yeah.
Giving your body the fighting chance to build a strong immune system, right? Because people oftentimes just think, oh, I just get sick often, it's just random. But no, it's not. It's not just random.
Right.
Your immune system is just not as strong as it should be right now, and you're getting too sick way too often, right?
And it can also be like a situational thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you get gastro or something, but like, if you're constantly just
Tommy
getting
went to daycare last week, and you can hear it in my voice.
Yeah, so for sure. But I really don't want people to allow themselves to think like, oh, I'm just getting sick so often in the year and it's just by chance. It's like, no, like
100%.
Your immune system is part of something that you're building, a strong immune system in your healthy lifestyle through really good sleep, through nutrients and stuff. So looking at these things and be like, hey, like, I'm eating all these colors because it's really good source of vitamins and minerals. Hey, I'm eating this food because it got lots of fiber in it, and that's going to help with bowel movements and digestion. Hey, I'm eating these types of fats because it's really good for my brain.
Everything's good for the brain.
So, or like, hey, like, I've been training 4 to 5 times per week, and I need to make sure like I'm eating adequate amount of protein, right? To make sure I'm recovering, to make sure I'm like keeping my lean muscle tissue and still able to like burn fat, right? So my guidance for everyone is to always be in the pursuit of wanting to make change. Even I've been doing CrossFit for I think 12 years now, and I'm still always trying to tweak my nutrition here and there. And
yeah, it also depends on like your focuses, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I'm always in this constant pursuit of like, how can I improve my nutrition? What, like, the season right now, and if it's like typically in the winter time, like maybe you want to eat more soups. In the summertime, you probably don't want to eat like really hot soups, right? So you're going to like focus more on like other different things, right? So depending on the season, it's just always being in this constant pursuit of wanting to improve your nutrition and never just like settling for, okay, well, this is how my nutrition is. And then also just kind of understanding how these foods that are on your plate in front of you are going to help. It's going to just boost your nutrition.
Yeah, I think having like a basic understanding of like what to eat and why, it really will be a game changer, because I think a lot of people know the difference between a healthy food and a not healthy food, but you can still have an unhealthy diet if you're eating healthy foods incorrectly. Does that make sense? Like, you're not eating them incorrectly, but you're missing like protein at meals or something. It's like, yeah, a big salad is like super healthy for you, but if you have no protein with that salad, then you're not going to be like feeling full long enough, or you're not going to recover the way you want. And so you can be healthy but still unhealthy at the same time. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then the last thing, we'll go back to this, if you're trying to make any sort of like body composition changes, right? If you're trying to lose a little bit of weight, if you're trying to gain a little bit of weight, it does matter the quantity. Yes. The quantity matters. And it's not because of your hormones or because of the sun hitting this type of degree.
We've heard them all. Okay, everybody, we've heard all of your excuses.
It is literally the quantity of your food. And you don't have to measure, you don't have to track, you don't have to weigh your food, you don't have to use MyFitnessPal. But that being said, if you are, I'm in the category of I'm eating healthy, quote unquote, but I can't seem to lose weight, well, then it becomes how much is going into my system right now, and your calories in are higher than the calories that you're burning throughout the day. And that's just a fact. If you're gaining weight, you're consuming more energy than what you're putting out in a day. And if you want to lose weight, you're in the category of, well, I want to try to, lean out a little bit before summertime. Well, you need to consume slightly less calories than what you're burning in a day. You need to be burning a little bit more than what you're putting into the system. And I always encourage, for those of you who are new to this podcast, to make, if you're in that category, to make small changes. Don't make drastic changes. When you're like, yeah, like I'm down 3 pounds in like the last week, it's like, well, I'm not sure how much of that is like real fat, but that's a big increase.
Right.
That's a big decrease, I should say. Right. And I'm not sure if that's going to be sustainable for you. You want to do this nice and slow. And at the end of the day, what we really want to do is we want to maintain our muscle mass and let that fat shred off, right? So we want to make sure we're still getting adequate amount of protein into our system. We want to make sure we're still getting lots of color, lots of fruits and vegetables into our system. And then from there, we can kind of change around our carbohydrate intake, right? Carbohydrate and even a little bit of our fat intake. But we want to be doing it in a mindful way where we're maintaining our muscle. We definitely do not want to lose muscle. We want fat to be gone. So we want to think of like body recomp. We want to keep good energy systems, right? Where we're feeling good throughout the day. We're feeling recovered. Our muscles are feeling good. We're getting lots of nutrients. We're not being deficient in any nutrients, but we're just a tiny bit consuming a little bit less calories than what we're burning in a day. So try not to make those huge, drastic changes, and go check out the Canada Food Guide.
It's your perfect example of what to do, what to eat, what to do while you're eating. There you go. They answer all your questions, so we don't have to. Just kidding.
Okay, we're going to end this podcast the same way we always do, with client of the week. And this client has been absolutely smashing it.
She's been killing
in the gym,
it. She just upgraded her membership
from 2 times to 3 times. And that wonderful client is Daniela.
Yay, Daniela.
So Daniela has been with us since, I think, January.
Yeah, that feels right.
I don't think it was before. I think it was just in the new year.
Like, she's fairly new, but she's not like new.
Yeah. So she's been with us for a couple months, and she's been ultra consistent with her 2 days per week. And she was getting the itch to join for more. And she made that decision last week and hit her sessions. So
congrats, girl. Keep it
up.
up.
Yeah, you're crushing it. Also, really loving how like much she wants to be coached as well.
Yeah.
She's been really like taking feedback and really like applying it. I've been pushing her a little bit on the weight side of things now.
Amazing. I love it.
She's still, like I said, still relatively new, but just trying to get her to, now it's been 3 months, starting to go a little bit on the, like, hey, we can go a little bit harder in this Metcon. Hey,
yeah,
we
like
can add a little bit more weight now.
There's like a sort of loading period at the beginning where you don't want to scare people and you want to just make sure they feel really comfortable. And then once they start getting hungry for more, you can push them a little bit more.
Absolutely, yeah. So shout out Daniela for being an awesome client. Shout out to all of you guys for being awesome listeners. My love, I think our next podcast, if my math is correct,
is next week.
Is going to be episode 104, which means 2 years of podcasting. That's probably not what our topic's going to be.
No, it would be a bit repetitive.
Yeah, but stay tuned for episode 104. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one for our
2-year anniversary of the podcast.
2-year anniversary. All right, guys. See ya.
Bye.